get this shit over with.
That's
Cool.
why we're here.
Alright. That's why I'm here. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Last. Oh, hello, gentlemen. How's it going? Last we left off, you four were fighting against the Black Talons after they've been assaulting you for the past few days, and you believe them to be a great threat to the capital's safety during this time of potential war. Also, they'd taken 2 allies of yours, Captain Dronigan, a local captain of the guard, who'd agreed to find you some information on Lazarus and the Talons, as well as a priest Tyrion. As well as a priest Tyrion, of the Temple of Apollo. You faced against many Talons, cutting through their forces like a cleaver, before facing off against the Great Talon in his lair. It was a fairly intense fight, high damage numbers being thrown around with use of a sneak attack and the powers of his special spear. However, in the end, it was you lot that came out victorious, with Doc and Galahad flanking the Great Talon, keeping him occupied. A very angry and brutal blow from Galahad's ward, Damien, silenced the Great Talon in a brutal finisher where his head was lopped off. After this, you found Dronigan and Tyrion, managed to make it out of the Talon's lair, leaving a warning to those, to any who might return. And as you escaped the maze, you found people in the streets were rioting, complaining about the current silver tax imposed upon them. With some calming and supportive words, most of these people were calmed and the situation became quickly resolved. You headed into the castle then, Tyrion being taken for some medical care as his leg had been broken. As you entered, you headed up to the council chambers, where you stand now before Councilman Ivan, Councilman Duforge, and a couple of local generals, including Daviak. He basically opened things up by saying, "Wow, you look like you've been through hell. Where on earth have you lot been? I'm assuming that's not, well, only some of that's your blood on each of you." And all the councils, like the council and the generals, are now like staring at you, like you guys who just walked up all these flights of stairs and stuff. Just, yeah, like you went through like fucking what, 40 talons or something just this morning. So you're covered in blood and everything. Care to explain this? Yourselves.
We
Not really.
we vanquished an ancient evil, good councilman. A myth. We're myth destroyers.
Myth destroyers. Okay. So you vanquished. Do you have any evidence of this myth? I mean,
Did we pick up his head?
No.
Oh, you've got his
No.
spear. We've got his spear there, haven't we?
you did pick up a spear, and one of you did pick up some letters and things from about the place.
We'll show the spear and the letters. I don't know if his glaive or spear is a known thing, a known entity. But how about we just disintegrate one of them and then they'll know it's a glaive.
I mean, the letters might be better proof, with the contents of them.
So these are you mentioned about these Black Talons before.
Yes, they will know.
Lady Duforge, would you know anything about these? Lady Duforge, who is the councilwoman of the people, she's wearing a fairly sort of simple, like compared to all these generals and stuff, she's a very small woman, wearing fairly sort of simple attire. Definitely really doesn't look like she belongs in a big room full of generals and things talking about war. And as she's sort of said, like, yes, there was rumor of the Talons, but they, stories you tell people to not have them walk late at night, and you tell children to get them go to bed when it gets dark and things like that. But that spear, it has been in several drawings and depictions, and the Talons were known. One of them was known for having a spear that spelled destruction for any who might come across him. People said they would be vaporized or that they would be destroyed. I'm assuming that spear's safe to be in these quarters.
Yeah.
Can it really vaporize people? This is rather grotesque.
I've seen it use that power before.
Oh, Lord. All right.
I'm going to put that back in here so everyone feels a bit more comfortable.
Yes, please. That would be rather nice. And all the generals sort of start agreeing, as you've realised throughout this conversation. As soon as she mentions that spear can be used to vaporize people, every general suddenly just slowly put his hand to their sword or axe or shield or anything.
So everyone feels a bit better about the whole situation.
Yeah. At which point, Councilman Ivan just sort of looks at everyone and is like, "Yeah, calm down. They're good lads. I guess. Thank you. So from what little I know about the Black Towns, they were assassins, were they not? I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know what killings or assassinations or deaths could be related to them. I guess only time will tell.
Well,
But
the notes we found, they mentioned an organisation called the Dowie? Is that how you pronounce it?
yeah.
They seem to have something to do with
Everyone
them.
knows about the Dowie. It's that's some tricky business there. Yeah, we'll definitely take those to have a look at. That could be quite eye-opening for the people of Drapeport. Absolutely. And would any of you happen to know about this? Have you heard anything about this Dowie? Have you?
No, not at all. Not a thing. Do not ask here.
Make a deception
No
check.
info. No info here.
No comprende, por favor.
Yeah. Dawu? What?
Dao who?
That's a good one. If you like shit jokes. Deception, yeah?
Yeah. Aye, well, Paladin of Tyr, I'm not surprised. All right, well, we'll take a look at these and
Off Galahad. Get out of my brain.
we'll take a look at these and well, we'll get to work.
How do you spell Dowie again?
Dhaoui.
Dowie.
So basically, it's just DH and then just throw a lot of vowels at it.
Cool. Did you
See
bet
what
Ben
sticks.
throws alphabetti spaghetti at the wall and see what's stuck?
Totally. At which point, at this point, Captain Dronigan sort of steps forward and says, also, I want you to know, looking through some of these letters, seems that Captain Forsyth and Captain Whitemore have, as well as several soldiers closest to them, were part of these talons. They were the people that, imprisoned me. They ambushed me, took me down there. They had close connections with these people, and I think I'd like to see to that personally, if you don't mind, General. Councilman Ivan agrees and sends a couple of soldiers just sort of near and around the way, and orders for these two individuals, Captain Forsyth and Whitemore, to be brought in for questioning. And Captain Dronigan sort of follows out, and he just says, I'll catch up with you lads later. Thank you again. Thank you. If you're ever looking for a meal, my wife cooks a pretty good brunch. Or what? If there's anything I could do, basically.
If we come round for lunch, we can have a look at your roof.
I think my roof's fine.
It
but,
won't be, and then it will need working on. We have a very unique business model here. I'm not sure it's entirely legal.
It's called extortion, isn't it?
No.
He sort of looks at you guys, and then as you walk off, he's like, and they're fucking heroes. What is this? And walks off with
Some of us are more
these
heroic
guards.
than others.
As you wander off, Councilman Ivan sort of turns back to you and says, well, we have a little bit of news of our own, just to update you on what's going on. Soldiers from the surrounding villages have been rounded up and put into formation here. They should be all set to go. We have a decent balance of archers versus infantry. Should be good to be up on the walls, preventing too much destruction. We have a few soldiers from Inksworth and Cregan that are on their way as of sunrise this morning. They should be here tomorrow in the late morning, and we'll be putting them to work, particularly from Inksworth. We should have a decent number of cavalry to help us in this, I don't know, battle tactic we have of going in and out of in and out of attacking the flanks. Soldiers are being sent from Lone Hill too, but they probably aren't expected for a couple of days, so we can hope and pray that it doesn't happen then. Otherwise, there will be some late reinforcements. As you've probably seen walking throughout the city, taxmen have begun to round up silver for the creation of holy water. Many temples throughout the city have been informed of their new duties and are pretty much all on board. And a more rigorous watch has been set on the wall, ensuring that if anything comes their way, we will know immediately. Bells have been implemented, new belling systems and things like that to tell us information wherever we are or should be in the city. So things should be good. And gentlemen, I think that's actually us all done for today. Thank you very much. All the generals sort of nod and shake Councilman Ivan's hand. And as they walk past you, some of them do sort of offer to shake your hand as well as they're coming past. It seems you guys have earned a little bit of renown in this city, especially from some of the local generals.
Gut-covered hand, covered in the blood of the black.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and for that reason, it's not all of them. It's like only some of them. A lot of them just sort of go to shake and are like, Guardians, and they sort of just like nod and bow to you briefly before walking off. Even Davyak sort of like, he's on his way with them. He's like, I'll catch up with you guys later. See ya. Walks off after realizing, yeah, you guys are covered in whatever. Gents, I was wondering if I could speak to you lot about this ball that we have coming up tomorrow evening. We've had a lot of flack from people saying that, well, it shouldn't really be going on, but we believe, first of all, that it could be an opportunity for the people of Ambyr to maybe have an evening of relaxation and enjoyment before even more bad news and even more trouble comes up to our doorstep. But also maybe might be able to gather some information from two individuals that are attending the ball and that we would like you lot to handle for us. We've looked through some of the papers and information about some of the, Lady Duforge, I think you're probably better at this. Yes, of course. We've looked through many of the papers that several of the council members and I sort of sent and received during our times being charmed by Lazarus Barnhill. And through all of these, sadly, we've only really been able to identify two individuals who seem to have connections to Lazarus and also connections to a being called the Black Prophet, as well as this whole undead business that seems to be going on. Many other names have been, other lords and ladies have been mentioned, but not by name, by aliases, by code names and things like that we can't quite understand. But only two that we know of have been named. They are twin brother and sister, a Mr. Sorbin Fateheart and Sarah Fateheart. These two individuals are, they're more money than sense. The boy thinks himself a good duelist, and the girl, throws her vast wealth at literally every problem in her life. We could use them. Now, I don't think you should underestimate them. I imagine with these problems, they will be quite vigilant. We would like you to place some rings upon their person, if you would not mind. The rings are currently being enchanted in the College of Wizardry. These will be called scrying rings. Once they're on their person, we'll be able to identify and track wherever they may go, listen in on any conversations they may have, know whom they are speaking to, and eventually learn of this larger plot. But I fear that if we were to simply arrest them, the other lords and people they are speaking with and working with might quit and run, leave. And, well, as I said, these people will throw money at every problem they have. And they probably have, and there are no end to the amount of mercenaries in Ambyr who would take that opportunity to earn themselves a quick gold piece or two.
Just to run it back real quick, so are we certain, like, is the council like watertight, or is it just, obviously we discuss a lot of things that they must know, if there was any sort of infiltration, they must know we're on to them now because we've murdered Lazarus and stuff.
Well, yes, sadly, the only council members left, the only ones currently here working as the council, are myself, Councilman Ivan, Councilman Ambyr, the Councilman of Foreign Affairs, Councilman Grandwind of the Natural World, and Archmage Rast, wherever he might be, if he is even alive. Obviously, Whitash passed, and as has Lady Neelis, and the other 3 previous council members are under arrest. So there's really only the 4 of us.
We are watertight then.
We believe ourselves to be, yes. Yes. Lazarus had, obviously, myself charmed, and he had Grandwind as well, was too charmed, and Councilman Ivan and Ambyr were both blackmailed by him. We believe ourselves.
Twin sister again, sorry, as well.
Her name was Sarah. So Sarah and Sorbin Fateheart. Their father, well, their parents really, passed away many years ago and left them their entire estate. They hold quite a large estate and quite a lot of land. They lease it out to different parts of the country, to the king and different things like that. They've earned quite an amassed amount of wealth. In fact, a lot of the funding for the masquerade ball is on them as well as on Lazarus Barrenhill. Both have put in large sums of money as well as from the king's own hand. So yes, if I understand, obviously, what we're asking you to do is rather dangerous again, and this should be your evening to enjoy yourselves. But if you could do this for us with your expertise, and I'm assuming you wouldn't be in your heavy plate armors and weapons, maybe out of your armor you might be a little more sly and a little more discreet.
Have you seen us? Fucking 7-foot minotaur.
Well, yes, dare I say it, at this point, sort of Ivan sort of opens up. Yeah, dare I say it, maybe that sailor boy would have been quite handy at this one, but well, work with what we've got, I guess. Right. Well, those are your missions, really. Otherwise, we would ask you to enjoy the evening. Do that as quick as you can, and you might have a chance to get drunk. I'll definitely owe you all a drink while you're there. And have a dance or two. Might be a fun evening after all, and definitely try and enjoy yourselves. But that is all we have charged for you at the present moment. Until then, enjoy yourselves. Take some time to rest. Maybe get yourselves cleaned up. Wherever you're staying, just show your seal of the council.
Spa trip.
Show yourselves the seal of the council, and any accommodation fees or anything will be paid for in full. Don't go wild. We did just have a large sum of money taken out of the king's treasury. Anyway, that's not important. We will continue planning, and if you are ever needed, you'll be summoned. Thank you very much, Guardians. Do forge, Ivan. And they both sort of nod and begin to leave the area. Lady Dewforge particularly leaves a wide berth to those who are covered in blood and guts and everything.
Right.
And she's sort of like, she feels really bad about it as she's going past. You can tell, like, she has that look of like, I'm sorry, this is expensive. Walks past. But from now, you have just over 24 hours to do whatever the fuck you guys would like. I'm assuming there is some magical miscellaneous shopping and everything involved in that, as well as I know a couple of you have told me a couple of things that you might want to do. Damien definitely looks like he could use a rest, use a bit of a nap. This is more action, like, more intense action than he's maybe seen in a very long time, if ever. Yeah, I open the floor to you guys. What would you like to do?
I would probably sort out the rest of our magical items, because we've got some useful things that aren't being used, don't we? So like the wand and the boots as well. So we could probably just do with someone taking them, and then at least they're not in a bag and not getting used.
Yeah, I believe the boots were used by Galahad in the fight in the Talons in the Temple of Mars. He used them to jump up and slash at a guy. So I believe Galahad had the boots. You do have a set of cursed plate, mithril plate armor. As you say, the wand.
We discuss that potentially going to a character not in this for. Zagiri. I don't know why I was so mysterious about that.
Oh, I wonder who it could be.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that could potentially go to Giri. If Giri had the money, she could have that melted down and made into some slightly Japanese styled armor, some samurai-esque
Japan
armor.
exists in this world.
No, I mean a
It's
very
like a far-off province.
a very
Galaxy far away.
a very Eastern influenced place does exist in this world where Giri is from, in Titan. But no, obviously Japan doesn't. But yeah, so where would you like to go first? Probably try and sort group things first, if that's unless anyone's desperate to go and do something as quick as possible. Try and sort of group stuff first, and then we'll see what you guys individually might want to sort out, and then we'll move on. So yeah, what would you guys like to do?
Or do we think we need anything for this ball apart from? Because obviously we're going in unarmored. We've all got weapons.
We've got weapons and we've got clothes to pick out.
Yeah.
Which give us a little bit of protection.
Yeah, your clothes will be ready to pick up tomorrow morning. Your weapons, however, should be ready about now. So you can go visit Hammer and pick those up.
I think we already picked them up. I think the only one that we didn't have was Balzanor,
yes,
which needed a little bit more time.
Yes,
because you wanted like spikes to be able to come out of it. That was it. You wanted your head to come to a
fucking flail staff.
If I go pick that up, I might spend some time practicing with it. Maybe find somewhere where I can not hit civilians.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, around the castle here, you've seen many soldiers, and there's many barracks and different things around the way. There's plenty of places you can go. Even in most temples that you've seen, like Temple of Pelor, there's places where paladins and things can go and spar and train and things like that. So there's no end to the amount of places you could go there. So yeah, where to first potentially?
Okay. This armor, shall I uncurse it? Can I have remove curse prepared at the moment?
Yes, you were told that it might need to use a higher spell slot.
Well, I've got no third or fourth left, so it's going to have to be fifth at the minimum.
Okay. You remove curse at 5th level? Yeah. Cool. So, like, where do you go to do this? I'm assuming you don't just do it in the castle. You would actually, in fact, be led out of the castle. So, where would you go, essentially, to perform this sort of removing curse stuff?
I guess the Temple of Apollo is in pieces at the moment, so probably just back to the Temple of Pelor.
Okay, yeah. Head in there, head downstairs to your sort of area, sit down and begin to sort of uncurse it, sensing the dark vampiric energy within it, and almost like removing curses is, very similar to what's it called when you get a ghost out of someone's house?
Exorcism.
Exorcism. Yeah, it's almost like you're sort of performing an exorcism on this armor, and it is a little bit of sort of a task to try and sort of grasp it, sort of seeking within the armor itself and trying to sort of maneuver around it and grasp it and basically take it out. But eventually you do, and with a sort of spark of Apollo's divine light in the centerpiece of the armor, you begin to see this sort of mist begin to appear, sort of just coming out of the middle of the armor, and it almost appears in like this skull shape with these two sort of long fangs by the teeth. And as it sort of just appears, it sort of looks up into the sky like, and then just disappears into mist. Done. 5th level was exactly the level you needed, the minimum level you needed to get rid of that, get rid of the curse. So there you go. Cool. You have a now set of plate mithril armor.
Can go to Giri, as Doc doesn't want the bright red vampire armor.
Could Griffin go to Temple of Tyr and ask about becoming a Justicar, please? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So those. We'll say that as that was sort of happening, just on your way out, because obviously it would be, you're at the castle here. Temple of Tyr is pretty much on the way to the Temple of Pelor, or the Cathedral of Pelor. So you can step in there. As you step in, a similar figure greets you. The man in these plain sort of grey robes, fairly sort of bald head, save a little sort of tufts of hair around the side and back of his head. Hello there, Paladin of Tyr. What can we help you with today?
I just want to chit chat with a big man. A little bit of face-to-face time.
Yes, of course. I'm sure you know where to go. Please, be on your way. Any questions, let us know. And you continue left down the way into the small temple that they have there, inside this large courthouse building that also functions as a Temple of Tyr. Within, again, very sort of basic place. There was a guy you met last time, so it was a priest who was stood there praying there, a fairly old man who was here yesterday when you came yesterday, and he is still there, still in the exact same spot, still sort of solemnly silent, praying. The woman who was crying is gone now, and it's actually a little bit busier today. There are a fair few people sort of in here, and you do have to sort of slide along a pew. Well, it's not really pews, it's more these stone sort of tablets and things in front of some seats. Sit down, begin your prayer. You place your hands upon the stone things, say your quick sort of prayer to Tyr. What would you sort of say?
Just furthering on our last conversation, you said I was with heroes of their gods. I think I would like to work to become a champion of your faith, and I feel like I've shown I'm more than capable.
Yeah.
I fucking annihilated those Black Talons, did you not see? Cut through them like butter. Sorry. Yes. Champion of Tyr, please.
Yeah. As you sit and pray here, you suddenly find yourself sort of feeling a cold breeze sort of blow over you. And as you sort of open your eyes, recognizing the similar breeze, you are sort of in the center of this dark room. And Tyr, above this sort of large altar type space, stands this huge man, sort of chain, sort of like ring chain armor, sat only one hand. His left hand sort of ends at a stump with a sort of golden sort of what do you call that? I guess golden stump,
like a
golden
cap.
Yeah. Golden cap made for his hand, and a large sort of hammer in the other hand, ringlets in his beard and everything. And he stands there sort of looking at you just for a moment. You find yourself sort of you both looking at each other for a sort of awkward amount of time. You seek to become Justicar, as does all of my faith, clerics, paladins alike.
It is a good thing to aspire to, and you have done much in your time, Griffin Asahi. But you are still learning your own justice, learning to rid yourself of ways past and become anew. But I'm beginning to think, Griffin Asahi, seeing your display today, that you will not rid yourself of ways past. You will not become the embodiment of law, as many of my Justicars are. No. I see a different path for you, Griffin. A path few of my order take, but a path I believe may be more suited to your particular talents, and that you can further prove to me. Many of my order, Griffin, are tasked with embodying the law, protecting it, personifying it. But as I've seen, this becomes challenging for you. What do you mean? Your escapades with your friend Balzanor, they did make me chuckle. And as a young god, I found myself with my brothers and sisters thinking similarly. But I think I have enough Justicars that embody the law. I think I need one to be the nightmare that awaits those that break it. To be the one whom people fear, should they disobey my law stones and take the law upon themselves. This shall be your new creed, Griffin Asahi. This is what will make you Justicar. Face against this undying queen. And do so with every ounce of my power. And there may be a Justicar within you yet.
Raises a hand, this large hand with this huge hammer in it. Smacks down on the sort of top of this altar. And with this shudder, you almost have to sort of, with the large sort of smack, you almost shudder. You find yourself no longer in this dark room. You are now in the temple, obviously, of Tyr, but a couple of the people who were in here have left. And you don't know how long you've been here, maybe sort of 20 minutes, half an hour. You're not quite sure. Sometimes these visions and things often, they're a bit like dreams. Sort of, you only feel like you're dreaming for about 10 minutes, but really you've been asleep for a very long time. And with this newfound reassurance from your god Tyr that he doesn't necessarily think you are one to embody the law, but yet be, as he said, the nightmare for those that break it. You find yourself maybe thinking differently about your oath and how you can view things moving forward. And you can catch up with your friends and do other things as you were.
Okay to kill people if they're bad.
Not necessarily to kill people, but
Hey,
definitely to make people
It's
think
what
twice.
I take from it. It's not what he meant.
Yeah,
It's what I take.
Exactly. So, with that, Griffin, you can head back to the temple of Cathedral of Pelor, where you find Doc recently rid himself of this curse within his armor. And if you want, servants within the cathedral say that they can deliver this to Giri if you so wish. That could just be delivered straight to Giri for you. You guys have done a lot for this place, so they're pretty happy to do that. Was there anything else anyone would like to do? You have some magic items, and there are magic item places. There are blacksmiths and places to receive information, and all sorts. Anything anyone would like to do?
What else did you want to do as a group activity, Sam?
Oh, well, I think there's items. So we want to get the glaive identified, don't we? And then we also there was a mask as well, like a mask of the sky itself or something like that.
Yeah, Mask of Illusions.
Yeah, so we could go get those from our favourite little gnomey fuck that does that stuff.
Indeed, Alfwin at the last spell in the Falcon
That
District.
one. And then I mean that's probably kind of it. And then I don't know if we could just take some extra items. I'm assuming we'll be able to take our daggers into the ball, because how else will we cut our meat?
With the daggers that they provide you, with the knives that
No,
with
I
the
only
cutlery
cut my
that they
meat
have.
with my own dagger. My +3 immovable rod dagger. And Doc
Indeed.
likes to cut his from a distance, so he'll throw it. And I forgot what everyone else took. Someone can cut 2 bits of meat at the same time.
And Balzanor likes his char grilled.
Ah, yes. Roasted.
And Balzanor just sat there eating an entire just chicken that he's cooking in his hands.
Why not?
Yes, so yeah, of course you can head there. You can
on
do
the subject of
whatever.
like magic and stuff. There's a spell that I can get that I've never used because it costs 1,000 gold each time. But it's called Hero's Feast, which might be a good one if we have a better idea about when Yara's going to attack, because it takes an hour, but it gives us all 2d10 increase to a max hit points. You get immune to poison and immune to frightened. Possibly something else as well. It also lasts 24 hours.
Advantage on all wisdom saving throws.
Advantage on all wisdom saves, and it lasts 24 hours. So, like, you can do it, then take a rest, regain the 6th level spell slot, and be fine the next day. But it costs it's like a chalice worth 1,000 GP.
Yep, it is an expensive ass thing.
Yeah.
Well, might keep you alive.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Exactly. Because that's also 2d10 to your maximum hit points, so it's not like temporary hit points. You can heal those back, but just make sure to take a note of what your original hit points were, because after the 24 hours, it goes back down.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but if we have any knowledge of when they're coming, I feel like that was going to be my question in the council. Actually, do we know how they're going to come? Are they just going to come through pools right on the gate, or are they going? Have they got places they're going to come from a bit further away? Because
you have no idea.
If we have no prep, we're a bit screwed, really, aren't we?
From Moraine's vision, she saw fields outside of the capital. They were marching. So they definitely don't just appear right on the doorstep, but at the same time, and also like no word has been sent from any of the other cities, so it's not like they're campaigning through Amber now, and it definitely seems to be a case of somehow they get here and potentially are trying to cut the head off the snake. As you know, people might have said in the sort of war council meeting, especially considering people that are killed by the zombies and the undead will then just wake up and be more people for Yara's army. So
yeah, I don't know if that's a component we want to club together and buy.
Yeah, I can do. 250 each isn't awful.
Because also, it says you can do up to 12 other people, so potentially like
Giri and not Mazzy, Daviak and
yeah, we can have a bit of a meal and get some allies buffed up for the following.
The Last Supper,
yes,
if you will.
Yeah, I've got
Indeed.
in the bag of holding. I've got a 1500 GP in jewels and art pieces from Lazarus's castle.
Well, Lazarus can fund our feast then.
Yeah, we don't have
me.
to go go through the whole RP thing of you guys selling those. But you can just make me if you want to sell those, and we can just handle that really quick. Just make me an investigation check to try and find somewhere where you could potentially sell them. Anyone can do this, or someone can get advantage. Either or, really.
I'm happy to offer advantage to someone else who might be more. Oh, actually, I'm quite intelligent. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
Griffin,
happy
you
to
are
do
quite
it.
intelligent. I will cast guidance upon you so that you can guide us to an art dealer.
What you don't
Okay.
know about me, and I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised that you don't know. Is I'm actually really interested in like fine art and jewelry and things like that. A little side hustle I have going on, and I can find you the best places in the capital.
Yeah, it's not bad. So yeah, you
guidance
maybe you
as well.
remember like
1d4.
you've been through a couple of places.
24, Ben.
Hey, yeah, you've been through a fair few places, and obviously, there's a lot of sort of pawn shops and things like that. You might be able to sell off a couple of these things. I regretted it as soon as I said it.
Sorry,
I think
Aramis
there are
isn't
sort of
here.
trinkets and things that you might be able to sort of sell off to certain places. But you remember seeing Galahad in your ventures up here with Balzanor. You remember going past a sort of fine arts place that was just sort of starting up, and it definitely seemed like it had a lot of money to start up a place, but not a lot of inventory. The place itself looked extremely
so
lavish.
We have the
yet
supply and they have the demand.
Exactly. So with this 24, you're like, oh yeah, this was like a split-second thing that you just looked over, but you remember thinking like, wow, that gallery place really doesn't actually have a lot of nice things in it. Yet it very much looks like they spent a lot of money making the place. Like they bought up, it was once like two buildings that they've like converged into one and built it all up and stuff. So maybe we could go there. And you can go there. If you wanted to haggle, you can try and make me a persuasion check for a slightly better price. Otherwise, you can just take it at its
haggle.
sort of face. Yeah, what would you try and say to a person? So say, you go in, you say we have these sort of things for sale. They say, oh yeah, well, the average price for these would be about 1,500. What would you try and say to increase the price they might give for these items?
As a fine art and jewelry enthusiast myself, I know that what's fantastic about nice pieces is, and what makes them that extra bit more valuable and special is when they have a story. And my God, do these pieces have a story, good sir? Allow me to enlighten you on the subject. And then I'll just tell them that we found them in a vampire's castle, and I'm sure they're very interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say make me a deception check. First off.
There are no lies here.
Oh shit.
Okay. That was just for you being a sort of art connoisseur sort of thing, not obviously.
I mean,
you found them in a vampire castle. You're telling the truth about that.
Right,
and
yes.
people at this point will have, especially in the Falcon District, will have heard that one of their neighbors was a motherfucking vampire, and
I
that's
thought
sort
we
of
were
going
keeping that
around.
on the hush hush.
Well, keeping it on the hush hush as much as you can.
As much as you can with citywide gossip.
Exactly. Especially in the Falcon District where, it's very rich Ponzi people, so gossip is the thing.
Do you hear what Mildred did with her gardener?
Yeah, so
generic bit of gossip here.
So now that might have potentially given you advantage, was all that was. So just roll a persuasion check.
So are we selling jewels to them by a gem encrusted chalice or whatever?
Basically.
Selling jewels to them so that you guys might be able to use
Okay.
that money to buy something else, maybe from them, maybe from somewhere else. I don't know. 12. Sadly, with a 12, that's they're like, sorry, but we're just starting up. This is the price we offer. You won't get a better price anywhere else. You know, the only other place like this is in the Cloud
Strong
District, and it's
disagree.
currently going under. So 1,500 is 1,500.
Take it or leave it.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
if we do that, then if I knock that out of the bag of holding inventory, then if we spend 1,000 on a chalice, then everyone else gets 125.
yeah, sounds good.
And I shall.
So everyone add 125 gold to your inventory after spending all this nice money doing that. That probably would have taken you sort of about an hour to sort of for them to evaluate all the pieces and just give them a sort of quick look over, and obviously you walking there and things like that.
Are you buying your thing here? Or do they not have anything like that?
They wouldn't have anything right here, but there are plenty of stores in the Falcon District where you might get such a thing. There's one which is a bit more of a sort of like a sort of fancy goblet type chalice. There's one which is more of a sort of like large bowl sort of thing than a chalice. There's one which is a bit more of a sort of cornucopia style thing than a chalice. Lots of different sort of styles of ones that you can get from different places. So just knock off the 1,000 gold, and you can get yourself a lovely chalice
Cool.
that can be used for Heroes Feast.
And I shall put the gold in my inventory as well.
Indeed. Right, what might be up next?
Magic shop.
Magic shop. Alrighty. So you head towards the last spell owned by Alfin in the Falcon District, the gnomish lad. And as you enter the shop, you can see that he is currently speaking to no one. But you quickly realize that he is actually speaking to someone. He's speaking to what looks like an invisible person. You can't see the body. All you can see are these two hands that seem to move in and sort of be faced in conjunction as a person. Griffin, with your sort of arcane knowledge, with your arcane expertise, you'd instantly be able to recognize the spell Unseen Servant. It's a simple first level spell, allows you to create a invisible person that can do very basic tasks for you. And he seems to have put gloves on this person so that he and other customers might know where this person is. He's sort of currently sorting out a large sort of crate of stock that he's recently got in. He's like, no, not on that shelf. Little bit up. Yeah, nice. All right, now that rod thing. Put that. Yeah. Oh no, not that. Down. Oh, you buffoon, down. Sort of shouting at this person. But as you guys enter, he's a little more excited. He's like, gentlemen, isn't it my favorite adventurers come back today? You lot have been in here, well, quite a number of times. Anything else for me to identify, or is this finally a little bit more of a shopping trip? I might peruse some of my items.
Let's start with what you can do for us, and then maybe we'll get on to what we can do for you.
Excellent. I've just had a new shipment in, as you can see. This is Jeremy. He's just sorting some things out. Say hello, Jeremy. And the glove just sort of waves towards you guys. And as it does, it takes its hand off like this large sort of jug that it was just putting up, and the whole sort of thing collapses down. Jeremy, you fuck! All right. One thing at a time, Jeremy. Anyway. Yes, new stock in. Thought you guys might like some of it. I did pick a thing or two out, as seeing as some more adventuring types are coming here. But yes, what is this thing that you can? What are these things that I can potentially get for you today?
Griffin, do you want to start?
We got them. This. What does the mask look like, Ben?
So the mask is like a porcelain mask. It doesn't look like a male or female. Looks sort of mix of the two. It is very plain on the outside, but on the inside it has lots of arcane inscriptions and arcane sigils and things like that, and drawings that could be very easily masked as just pretty insignias and sigils and patterning on the inside. strange for it to be on the inside, some might think. But with your sort of arcane eye and your expertise, you were able to, last session, to identify it as a mask of illusions. In fact, the voice inside the axe said that it recognized it and had seen it in use a little while before, though it didn't know every aspect of it. Though as far as it knew, it was able to cast, at the very least, it was able to cast Disguise Self. That is maybe one of its properties. So yeah, that's what it looks like so far. Anyway, very basic sort of porcelain mask with lots of runic inscriptions on the inside of the mask.
Okay. Yeah, we'd like this. Identify, please.
Yeah, someone knock off 100 gold for the identifying, and
That
this
price
is indeed.
has gone up.
What was it before? It
wasn't 100 gold.
I'm sure it was 100 gold.
Not per item. No, it was like 20 gold, I swear.
I feel like it was 25. But I could be wrong.
I feel like it could have been 25. Do 25 for now. I don't know where I got 100 gold from. And I'll
Big
go back
difference
to
there.
I'll go back to the tape. Cool. So, the Mask of Illusions. This white porcelain mask has arcane runes and markings on its inside and depicts a plain face. While you wear the mask, you have advantage on investigation and perception checks to see through illusions. You can cast Disguise Self at will while wearing this mask. Once per day, as an action, you can create a perfect illusion of yourself that lasts for 1 minute, or until you lose concentration, as if you were concentrating on a spell. The illusion appears in an unoccupied space that you can see within 30 feet of you. The illusion has an AC of 15 and 1 hit point. If this illusion is reduced to 0 hit points, it disappears. If it needs to make a saving throw, it uses your saving throw modifier to a roll. If it has to make a saving throw or take half damage on a success, it instead takes no damage on a success. As a bonus action on your turn, you can move the illusion up to 30 feet to a space that you can see, but it must remain within 60 feet of you. The illusion is so distracting to targets that it can be used to flank against an enemy creature. And, as an action, you can see through your illusion's eyes and hear through its ears. During this time, you are deafened and blinded. You can sustain this effect for up to 10 minutes, and you can end it at any time, requires no action. This would be an attuned item as well. So, yeah, you can create a body double of yourself to go and do things that you maybe don't want to do. This is obviously an illusion, so it can't necessarily interact, but it can speak. It can speak as if it had your voice, though obviously people to put their hand through it, they can't. Yeah, can be used to potentially flank on the battlefield. You can cast Disguise Self at will, so you can change what you look like at will.
Pretty nifty.
A fairly nifty item. Alfred seems very excited at this. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen one of these in a very, very long time. I know the college was very, very secretive of these such items, especially. Where in fact did you find this in the wrong hands? This could be quite a nuisance. Are you selling or keeping?
I think keeping. I think that has some use.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Just how much would it go for if one were to ask?
I would probably put this in a region of 2,000, 2,500 gold pieces. It's a very, very unique item. The ability to see through illusions, create a body double of yourself, cast a spell of the first order at will. Very interesting spells such as Disguise Self as well. Very, very interesting. Yes, so I'd probably go around 2,500 as you give me some decent business. And if you don't mind me milking the fact that the Guardians have been shopping at my magic store a little bit. But,
then we've got this bad boy, and then I'll slam the glaive on the desk.
Yeah, I'll pull it out the bag of holding and if you like.
Alrighty. The Blade of the Talon. He begins to identify as like, oh dear. Why do you always bring me things that are dark in nature? This is hard. Oh, this is
side
making me
effect
feel
of
sad.
dealing with dark creatures.
Yes, well, it seems that this blade attunes with you as much as you attune with it. Over time, I believe it can gain properties, gain powers. Those I cannot identify for you. But at its very base state... So, Blade of the Talon. This magic spear is about 5 foot in length. It's a wavy blade that makes up about 2 foot of the spear's length, and is a mark of the Black Talons. The blade was created for the first Talon by Queen Yara. This spear has both the light and versatile properties. While wielding this blade and being attuned to it, you can speak, read, and write Abyssal, Elvish, and Undercommon. You have dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, being attuned to the spear increases your dark vision by 60 feet. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. You can use a bonus action to cause poison to coat the spear's blade. The poison remains for 1 minute or until an attack using this weapon hits a creature. That creature must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, become poisoned for 1 hour. If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, the creature is also unconscious while poisoned in this way. The creature wakes up if it takes damage, or another creature uses action to shake the creature awake. While carrying the spear once per day, you can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces, and upside down along ceilings, while leaving your hands free for 1 minute. During this minute, you have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. The DC for things like the poison will go up as you progress with it. He does also mention that it seems to be speaking. How many of your things are fucking? Where do you find these things? I mean, I know you're adventurers, but oh, jeez, it says it needs to go to the den, back to the Black Falcon's den. It needs a new champion of some sort. This is good. I would maybe recommend. I mean, I can't tell you what to do with it, and he slides it very far as a little. It needs
to go to the Black Falcon's den.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Your guess is as good as mine. I would assume that. I don't necessarily need to know where it came from, but I'm assuming it came from a not very nice person.
Okay.
Or nice place. Given the fact that there's blood still on it, and that blood is dripping all over my table, I would say it was taken from someone rather recently.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Damo. He's a G.
If I pick it up,
yeah.
I try and just focus. Does it say anything?
Yeah. You pick it up, and you can just hear this whispering in the back of your mind, like, "Take me there. Take me back. I must be anointed. A new champion must rise. The Black Talons. Long live the Black Talons." And it just sort of repeats that over and over. I must be anointed. Take me to the Black Falcon's den. The Black Talons must rise anew. I need a new champion. That sort of thing. Just this eerie voice in the back of your head.
Where is the Black Falcon's den?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Spend some time with me and you may learn. You aided the defeat of my previous champion, so you must be a greater one. Together we can do great things, Dokrumir. Great things indeed. You need only attune with me, spend time with me, prick your finger at the end of my blade, and we can achieve immense things, change this land. Take me there, take me back.
And he goes back on this.
Okay. I've forgotten the shopkeeper's name.
Alfwin.
Alfwin. You said there's some powers that can't be identified. If one were to attune to it, do you think they would be revealed?
No. I think the powers that I told to you are the ones that, well, would be revealed when you attune to it. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. Usually with things like this, it potentially enhances things that are already there. So For example, this poison seems to coat the blade. It may be more difficult to shrug off. It may even begin to damage your opponents. For example, it may gain other abilities that, I don't know, maybe you've seen used in battle somewhat.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, well, I'll just put this away for now.
I think that's a very good idea.
And we'll work out what to do with it later.
Yes. If you need a hand helping figure out how to get rid of it slightly more permanently, well, I can certainly aid you with that a little bit, though I don't really want that done in my store. Or anywhere near my store, for that matter. Ugh. Horrid thing. Horrid. Anyway, slightly
Can
more.
we have a look at your stock to get your mind off this terrible blade?
That was exactly what I was thinking. You Aasimar, you reading people's minds. I knew there was something more about you. Anyway, yes, I've had a recent little bit of stock into my store. I set aside some pieces, or at least put some pieces. Jeremy, get out the stock I left for these. Jeremy, if you think that helmet is going next to that fucking shield, you've got another thing coming. Move it!
I will die for Jeremy.
Jeremy is a helmet.
Jeremy just sort of lifts up. You can see Jeremy lifts up the helmet and then waits for Alphen to continue talking to you guys, and then puts it exactly back down in the same place that it was in. I have a couple of items. So, the first one, a little more of a basic one. I've seen a lot of adventurers use these and thought I might get my hands on one just in case someone would come around. This is a rope of entanglement. And he pulls out a sort of silvery cord of rope that seems to... It is fairly obviously arcanely inclined. It has a ever so faint glow. It is a 30 feet long rope, weighs 3 pounds. If you hold one end of the rope and use an action to speak its command word, which you can assign to it at any time. You can change the command word and assign to it at any time as long as it is on your person. The other end darts forward to entangle a creature that you can see within 20 feet of you. The target must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity saving throw or become restrained. You can release the creature by using a bonus action to speak a second command word. A target restrained by the rope can use a full action to make a DC 15 strength or dexterity check, the target's choice. On a success, the target is no longer restrained by the rope. The rope has an AC of 20 and 20 hit points. It regains a hit point every 5 minutes as long as it has at least 1 hit point. If it drops to 0 hit points, the rope is destroyed. So, fairly good rope to use for restraining people. Next up.
How much is that?
That would run you around 750 gold pieces.
Fuck me.
Might be tempted to go down to 600, seeing as you have brought me some interesting things to identify in the past, and, well, maybe you might be inclined to spend a little gold, but that is as low as I will possibly go. Next up, the Shield of the Stormcaller. This shield was blessed by Nord himself, god of the storms and seas. And let God get his notes up here. Shield of the Stormcaller. Whilst attuned to this shield, you can choose to be resistant to lightning or thunder damage, your choice. You can change this resistance at the end of a long rest. While wielding this shield, your AC increases by 1. This is in addition to the normal AC bonus shields give you. So it is essentially a +3 shield. Whilst wielding this shield, you have sea legs. You have advantage on saving throws or checks made to avoid becoming knocked prone. Also, if you choose to be resistant to thunder damage, you can cast Thunder Wave once per day at 3rd level. If you choose to be resistant to lightning damage, you can cast Call Lightning once per day. Each of these spells have a DC of 15.
Just how much the shield?
This shield would run you 1,500 gold pieces. The fact that it gives resistance and a bonus to your armor that outweighs many other shields of the like is definitely interesting, and has certain spells within it. As you can see, the Nordic symbol of Vegelvesir, a shield that many, a runic symbol that many sailors who pray to Nord inscribe on their things. And it basically looks like, you know them like Viking compass sort of symbols? It looks very much like one of them.
Okay.
You can actually look up Vegelvesir, it's a really cool symbol. So, that is another thing I have.
Sorry, can you say how much did you say? 1,500 for the shield?
1,500 gold pieces.
Okay.
You just have the one.
I only have the one, sadly.
Is
They're
there a
very-
duplicate magic item spell? So everyone can have one.
There sadly is not a duplicate magic item spell, though if you wish to have this put in, I don't know, another piece of armor, for example, I could attune this shield, attune it to this shield, and place it in some armor for you. That would require additional cost, but it could be rather useful. Next up, the hammer of the primordial forge.
Bloody hell, where... Have you got a new supplier or something?
I do, in fact. He is from the Fracture, a very interesting man. The Fracture is filled with ruins and things from forgotten ages. And I think you would quite like this item, especially you, young dwarf. I know you dwarves are good with smithing tools and hammers.
It'll have
and
to be
some
quite
such.
something to persuade me to part with this hammer, I'm afraid.
Ah, it is not quite like your hammer. It is a smaller hammer, a lighter hammer. A hammer used by blacksmiths. You must sadly attune to this hammer. And you must have some proficiency with blacksmithing tools. However, at the head of this hammer, as you can see, and he pulls it out before you, the head of the hammer is like a sort of square bit of stone, and through it on one side is like lava, literal lava that flows through the head. And on the other side is like veins of ice, and in the middle they sort of come together to create this bluish lava that's weirdly warm, but not too warm to the touch. It counts as a +1 light hammer, which deals 1d4 plus, 1d4 damage. Over a 10-minute period, you may temper a set of armor or a shield, granting the wearer resistance to either fire or cold damages. You'd also be able to make the person much more able to withstand hot or cold climates. You may temper 2 pieces of armor at one time, but these 2 pieces sadly cannot be worn by the same person. Or I guess they could be, but they wouldn't offer any additional benefits, as far as I'm aware. Whilst attuned to this hammer, you may also be able to cast the following spells once per day. The heat metal spell, elemental weapon, chromatic orb, however you may only use the fire or cold damage versions of chromatic orb, or elemental bane. A very, very interesting item for those slightly
How much
more
does that cost?
blacksmithingly inclined. This too would put you back around 1,500 gold pieces.
Sounds like a very interesting item. Unfortunately, my crafting abilities are linked to mainly beverages, not physical items.
Then this might not be up to your speed.
No. Yeah, I discovered,
That is
Ben,
rather
that when we were talking about dwarf the other day, and I realised that I do
Yeah, I
did
remember
take
now.
proficiency. I've got brewer's tool. I'm proficient with brewing stuff.
Because a fucking core stock's proficient with brewer's tools.
Well,
The
I think the
drunken
reason
bastard.
I took it is because I'm proficient with herbalist tools and brewer's tools, and I thought like those combined would make for good potion making, which I've never fucking used.
I mean, I would allow you to try making potions if you really wanted to make a potion. But
I really should. At some point.
probably should. Next up is. Let me just look up the magic item. Next up, we have the Sentinel Shield. This is not
an attuned item. However, though magical, it does not offer any bonuses to your armor,
I love
sadly.
how much more like he's the hand gestures are increasing.
He has gotten quite into
As is
this
the performance.
describing of
Yeah.
magical items. Whilst holding this shield, you have advantage on initiative rolls and are much more perceptive. You have advantage on perception checks. The shield, as you can see, is emblazoned with an image of a great eye in its center. A very fantastic shield, if I do say so myself. Now,
How much is that?
that is only 500 gold pieces.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's just a standard +2 shield.
Yes, a standard +2 shield.
What's the
Now, advantage on initiative rolls and
I feel like Ben
perception
just said
checks.
this. I feel like he just said this.
Maybe.
I feel like Luke
Right
needs
on.
the advantage on perception checks.
Now, for two speciality items, these have quite a
Oh.
high price tag on them, but let me assure you, I think you will be enamored by them just the same. We have the Cloak of Raven Feathers, and from underneath the thing, he pulls out this fabulous cloak. It is actually a fairly sort of regular cloak. It's a sort of dark, fairly sort of basic dark cloak with raven feathers sort of going over the shoulders and round. This cloak allows you once per day for 10 minutes to fly as it turns into raven wings upon your back. You can fly about as fast as you can walk, but a very, very useful tool. You'll be able to fly on your heavy armors and some such, no worries, though otherwise you'll probably only be able to carry with you what you can obviously hold. But the ability of flight, my friends, is never to be underestimated. Now, or we have this one, and he pulls out this other cloak. This cloak is a sort of slightly more greyish cloak with white feathers upon it that sort of go to grey towards the tips. This is the cloak of hippogriff feathers. This cloak allows you to fly double the average walking speed. If I were to put it into a perspective, I would say about 60 feet every 6 seconds. If you are so inclined.
Or 10
For-
foot per second.
Indeed, for 1 hour per day, rather than 10 minutes. A very fashionable item.
How much is that?
The Cloak of Raven Feathers, 2,500 gold.
And how much was the other raven feather? Sorry, it was 2,500.
The Cloak of Hippogriff Feathers is 3,000 gold.
It's
Two
well
great
worth
flying
500,
creatures.
I think.
Two great flying creatures. It should be 3,500, but I figured for you I would make some exceptions.
Oh, there'll be more exceptions. Young master all win.
I'm not young. I've passed young many a time ago. He's slowly turning pirate.
We'll get to your true backstory eventually.
These are all stolen goods.
Yes, the famous Alfwin arc that I've been leading up to this whole time.
It's all a sting operation, Alfwin. We know you're handling stolen goods.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's trying to pawn them off, I think he might be. This is hot shit.
Good price for you, good price.
You could
Just
you
for
could
you,
try and roll an
just for you.
insight check if you want.
Yeah, alright. These are good deals.
Yeah, you're just thinking like, wow, he's got some good stock in recently. Damn.
Nothing wrong with any of this stuff. What do people want?
So, yes,
Or do we take a break and then we can have a think about it?
we could do. It is 9 o'clock. So just to
Yeah.
remind you of everything, there is a rope of entanglement, shield of the Stormcaller, hammer of primordial forge, sentinel shield, cloak of raven feathers, and cloak of hippogriff feathers. He also says he has 2 minor healing potions and 1 greater healing potion.
Can you
If
just
you
go
were so
over the
inclined.
price of them as well? Sorry.
So the rope of entanglement, 750 gold pieces. Shield of the Stormcaller, 1,500 gold pieces. Hammer of the Primordial Forge, I don't think any of you can use because no one's proficient with blacksmithing tools. The Sentinel Shield, 500 gold pieces. Cloak of Raven Feathers, 2,500 gold pieces. And Cloak of Hippogriff Feathers, 3,000 gold pieces.
Does anyone have any strong feelings towards any items?
I'm considering a new shield, but I'm not sure which one yet.
Also,
Are we having to buy these ourselves? Because if so, I basically don't have enough money for any of this.
sure we can come to negotiations. We
What
have
happened
some
to all your
items we
money?
can trade.
Yeah, you must have earned like 10,000 gold recently or some shit.
Well, okay, that might be true. I might have put some money away. I can't remember, but at the moment, I'm holding 1,600.
Oh,
Okay, 1,600 actually sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right for everything we got for selling Lazarus's daggers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah,
the
like
one
the cloaks I'd have to come with.
lightning bolt that we could use as a negotiating piece.
Yes.
If because no one's put any express claim to own that. I could try and sell him this lich eye that he previously said to never bring back into the shop again.
I have
Well,
a
I'm
feeling
very
he won't like
persuasive.
that.
I'm very persuasive.
Are you as persuasive as Aramis, though?
No, not at all. But who are you even on about?
Indeed.
I can tell him it's an orange.
Go on, roll another 20 deception. 20 deception.
Yeah, fuck it. Roll a deception to see if he believes there's an orange.
Would you like to buy?
It's not going to work either way, but it'd be very funny if you
this
got an at 20.
orange.
You pull it out for a second. Would you like to buy this orange? Oh yes, I think I've got a couple of copper pieces. Wait a minute!
It's a fucking lich eye.
Get that shit, Jeremy! Throw it out the window. Throw it, Jeremy! Get it and throw it.
Oh,
Jeremy starts
what a waste of
Jeremy's
the money.
holding like this very expensive sort of glass ornament that's got this strange sort of cloud stuff flowing through it, and he just completely drops it, smashes over the floor, and you just and he starts running for it before you pick it up yourself and take it. He's like, "Fuck it, Jeremy. Ugh. Need better unseen servants these days." Anyway, yes. Everyone have a think about what you might want to buy, and we'll quickly go for a 5-minute break.
Cool.
And I'll see you all back here in a moment. are back. So, do you guys have any ideas about those magic items? Which ones people might want to take? If there's any you might want to sell? Anything such as that.
How much can we get for the wand of
Let me just load it up. Wand of lightning bolts.
Actually, I don't know if it's just because we've said it a few times, but I think wand is a really silly word. It just sounds really silly at the moment.
It is a bit of a weird word. I've always found sort of like wands in D&D are very sort of, unless you're playing a wizard, a wand seems a funny thing for anyone other than a wizard to just pull out and start whacking around the place.
Expelliarmus.
So it is a rare item. So I'd probably put that in the region of maybe about 1,000 gold. You could get for such a thing.
I'd quite like the Stormcaller shield, but I feel like everyone wants the Stormcaller shield.
I can't afford it, so that's me outrunning.
Hey, fuck you.
Well,
I just have to play Ben at table tennis again.
could we split the money and then share the shield?
It's just
It is an attuned item. So to wield it, you would have to unattune to it, then reattune to it, and then
Can't we
unattune to it.
cut it into 3 and then everyone gets a +1 shield?
No, but we'll do that thing in Parts of the Caribbean, the second Parts of the Caribbean, where they're just chucking like the shouting sword and chucking sword, just getting the shield. Chuck shield, I'm using that. We can have the shield.
Anything else on your turn? Yeah, I chuck the shield to Balzanor, who's about to be attacked.
Balzanor, make a sleight of hand check. You miss. The shield falls in the lava beneath you. Fuck's sake!
JJ, I know you said that you were interested in some particular magic items that might have some benefits for health or AC or anything like that.
Boosting.
Well, obviously, this is only one magic item store in the capital. There's at least one in every district. So, and we're only like hour 3 into the 24 hours you guys have. So, if you wanted to spend some of your time, I'll ask you guys sort of after this what you should spend your time doing.
I've got a few things I want to do, so I might hang fire on buying anything just now, and then maybe come back. But if anyone else wants stuff, then dive right on in.
Matt, do you want this shield?
I would like the shield. I feel it would be beneficial
do you think
to me.
it fits your playstyle? Well, actually, I guess that's up to Ben because
I don't really have
to cast spells.
I only have the.
Well, I'll put it this way: I've allowed Doc this entire time to wield a hammer and a shield and cast all of his cleric spells. I've allowed Luke to do it with a sword. I've allowed Mazzy to do it with a longbow. I don't really care about that stuff, if I'm going to be perfectly frank. Because then it's just like, okay, then we're just wasting time of, I put my shield away and my sword away to cast this spell. Oh no, but then I can't get them back out to the start, and then my AC changes, and it's just a fucking hassle. So I don't really care if you have a shield. As long as you're proficient with shields, I will allow you to cast spells with a shield in your hand. As long as you're proficient with the weapon that you have in your hand, I'll allow you to cast a spell with that in your hand. It's the way we've been doing it so far. I don't see anything to change that.
So are you proficient with shields, Matt?
This is an excellent question.
Yes, you are, because you multi-classed into fighter.
Yes, then yes, I am.
So there is a benefit.
I would like to take it and basically have absolutely no money left. That is.
Well, if we start up selling the wand, that'll be 250 each. So.
True.
I'll take the storm one then if there's no objections.
Shield of the Stormcaller?
I feel like that fits my. I've got the first
one
page.
Matt just said he wanted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, I will take the other one.
That's what I'm trying to
Matt, I
work
see
out.
that you want that shield. So I'll take it off you anyway. I'll take the.
I mean, if you want, you can ask him to try and enchant your shield, with a just +1 benefit, either of you. He will have to roll for it to see if he breaks the shield or not, and it is fairly expensive because it's his own enchantment of it.
If he breaks a shield whilst trying to do it, I assume that we haven't paid for the shield yet. That's his breaking his own item, right?
Well, yeah, but he would have broken your shields. He would have had to go and get a new one. You would have to go get a new one, basically. But it's something you could do potentially.
How much should it be to get a +1 on the shield?
So probably all in all, with the equipment that he has and his speciality knowledge in enchanting items and things like that, would put you back about 1,000 gold.
Okay, so could he do the Sentinel shield at a +1 for 1,500 GP total?
No, because that already has an enchantment on it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so he could take the shield that you have right now, like Doc. He could take the shield you have right now, or Griffin, or whatever.
My cool shield.
Or up to you. He can also do this with any weapons you have or anything like that you would like to be magical.
Did you say we could have a look around other shops? Because I'm keen on the Sentinel shield, but if we're looking around elsewhere, then I'm happy to look elsewhere and then go back and buy it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You can, you can certainly have a look around other shops for a little bit if you'd like, and then potentially come back. He can certainly hold it for you.
I can do that outside of the session if you want. That's an easy thing to do outside of the session.
Yeah, I mean, I have one or two. It would really depend on your investigation. So, you would have to make an investigation check, and then we could see sort of if you can find any other shops within a 24-hour time limit that might have something similar or better.
Anyone want to help me look?
Doc,
we're going to look at shops.
I do want to look through some magic shops, so I will give you a hand with that.
Could you let Natalie know Sam said?
No.
Yeah? Do I have to say it in that voice?
Yeah, no, it's like a really direct, fuck off. Yeah.
Oh, Debbie, hang on. I'm just going to message Natalie real quick. Get in there quick.
Luke doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'll just be like, I was so rude to tell for Luke to tell you to fuck off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. 20 investigation. That's pretty good.
What is with these rolls tonight, Sam?
I know it's pretty. They're pretty decent. Yeah. So let me just roll. I'm gonna roll percentile dice.
I don't think I've rolled
Never
dice
get to roll
yet.
ups. Yeah. Roll one for the hell of it. Go.
No, I'm gonna see if I can go an entire session without doing it.
Okay. JJ, a goblin comes at you. Roll it. No.
Piss off, goblin.
Percentile dice to see. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So. You look around for a little while. So I'm assuming now you're leaving Alphins, right? You've done all of your business in Alphins and you're going to leave and come back. Okay. So who's going to find shields and who's going elsewhere? Or who's going to find other magic shops and stuff? And who's going elsewhere?
I want to go with Griffin to find other magic items. I don't know where this... Are we in the Falcon District at the moment?
You are at the minute in the Falcon District, yes.
Okay. When we begin to cross over towards the route in the Wind District, I do want to go via that point, or if it is in the Wind District, I do want to go via that point where this morning we had the altercation with the guards and the Dragonborn.
Yeah, sure. That was in fact in the Cloud District, but right by the bridge, right by the sort of the two bridges. Yeah. So, yeah. So, of course. So, you head around. In the Cloud District, they have one or two items that maybe, they have some interesting looking shields and shields of the story to them. They have what's called a shield of expression. So there's a big face on the shield, and you can basically change what the face looks like on the front of the massive shield. Change its expression, change its face, and things like that. But nothing really magical. That's a fairly common item as well. So that would only put you back 125 gold pieces. And it's sort of doesn't have any bonuses to AC. And you find another sort of thing or two like this, shields that glow and have the light spell in them, different things like that. And you decide sort of maybe the Cloud District isn't sort of where you want to go. There's lots of soldiers about sort of buying different things, many adventurers and mercenaries about buying different things. maybe the Wind District would be better. And you would sort of pass over into the Wind District. And as you pass over into the Wind District, you can see, Doc, that these two Dragonborn individuals have almost now like shared a. They are sharing a cart with another Dragonborn. He's a green-skinned Dragonborn. He sells small sort of like wooden things, like large things for like your kitchens, like big wooden chopping boards, wooden sort of spoons, things sort of that description. And they've sort of shared with him, so like they have like a rack of their own behind his, seeing as theirs is broken. The wife, he explains to you, this man explains to you, his wife has gone home. He's giving her a day sort of in bed to be herself. This altercation clearly shook her a little bit, whereas he's spending the day actually selling things with his green Dragonborn buddy. They're all right, and they do thank you once again for for everything. And he does seem somewhat interested to take you up on his offer, but this green Dragonborn has apparently already been approached by another group of one of his friends about this potential offer. Rumors of a place up north, supposedly. So he says he's going to chat with him, and maybe a thing or two might happen there where they might think about moving away. So they're all right.
That's good. Passing
over into the Wind District, you're not really finding much in terms of shields or armors, other than more decorative pieces or pieces with, some basic enchantments on them. You do find a store that does give you resistance. It's a set of what would it be? It'd be splint armor, which is another set of which is a type of heavy armor that does give you resistance to cold damage, if that would be of interest to anybody. It also allows you to cast any cantrip that deals cold damage. A decent sort of set of armor. He says you can take it. He has this enchantment on also a set of breastplate armor or studded leather, I think it was. Yeah. Or studded leather armor. They were made as a sort of set of 3 for sort of like light, medium, heavy. But it's when you go into the Root District and you sort of, you're slightly given up a little bit, but you find a shop that, weirdly enough, seems to have almost exactly what you want, or seems to have a lot of shields sort of hanging in its window of this magic item shop, and seems to be taking advantage of these rumors of a big undead army, and it's saying, oh yeah, come and get your things, come and get your things. As you step inside, you can see a tiefling man, sort of just behind the front desk. He's got his sort of feet up on the desk. You haven't seen many sort of rotund tiefling people so far, but this man is a rather rotund tiefling. These 2 sort of horns coming from slightly lower down his forehead, curling around, sort of sat almost like half asleep. But as you come in, it rings a bell just above it. Hello. You look a lot fancier than most people I get here. What can I do you for? Gentlemen of some esteem.
Well, I'm looking to increase my resilience and constitution. In battle I find myself looking after my friends, and if I have to look after myself, then I can't be healing them, so...
Just the thing. Hold for me one moment.
And he walks round back. He's like, oi, fuckos, wake up, come on, go on.
Griffin, do you get the feeling on this guy, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how legit are you feeling off the cuff?
I like him, so I'm feeling like a solid maybe 3, with 1 being totally illegal.
Cool. Glad we're roughly on the same page.
As he sort of comes out the back, a huge Goliath man, tattooed from head to toe, steps out, and he sort of steps out.
Well, these men, or one of these men, would like a slight raise in constitutional vigor, I guess. I believe you have a thing for that, don't you?
Yeah, I got a tat for that.
Always got a tat for that.
That's why my name's Tat.
Yeah, well, fuck you. So, my man can do tattoos. One tattoo in particular can be done pretty decently. does help you to raise your vigor, your vitality, as it were. As seen men get through wars and some such. We've had a couple of soldiers come in and get such tattoos. It's a rather intricate business, but...
Is it the Viag tattoo?
No, that's a very, very different one, Sir Man.
Sir Man.
No, this would be the Mark of the Bull tattoo. A great withstanding tattoo. A large sort of tattoo of a bull-like figure upon your back. Or your chest, whatever. Has to be pretty big, sadly, but would help you in some regard, certainly. Otherwise, I know I had a belt for something like that, but sadly I sold it to a man down in Inksworth not too long ago. So that's a bit rough going. But
what's his name and his address?
I don't know his bloody address. I don't know his name either. I just know he's heading to Inksworth.
Sounds like you don't do due diligence.
I'm a shopkeeper. I haven't even asked your names yet. I don't know. I don't need to know your bloody names. I just need to know how much coin you got and what you want to buy.
How much does something like this does this cost?
Well, most places, you see, would be doing you for around, 2,500, 3,000 gold. Here we do it for a cheap 2,000, clean off the cup.
They might even sterilize the needles.
Hey, we have sterile needles, don't we, Tap? Oh yeah, sterilize them, certainly. Yep. I know what sterile means, and I know how to perform.
Unfortunately, your parents weren't.
Galahad's had a long day.
The fuck you saying that? No, the lad's just making.
He doesn't even know what it means. Why is he getting angry?
I understand big words.
How long would something like that take? I don't have a lot of time, unfortunately.
Would take a few hours. What would you say, Tat? I could start it tonight and then finish it tomorrow morning. Be pretty good. We haven't had much business today. What do you mean we've had lots of... No, we haven't had lots of business. We've been pretty quiet today. Yeah, I could get that sort of in for you like now if you want. Then we could finish that tomorrow morning.
You're actually going to let this lummox stick a needle in your body?
Hey, he might not be clever at some things, but have you seen the man? Each tattoo he's got on himself, he's done himself. And you can see he is actually tattooed very professionally. Every tattoo is literally all over his body. And every tattoo is so perfectly done that they almost, they so perfectly conjoin. It's almost like a large sort of jigsaw puzzle all over his body, and there is only slight even spaces between all the tattoos on him, and between sort of all the spaces of symbolism and things like that. There is a lot of just sort of patterning and different designs to fill in the gaps and fill in the spaces. Does anyone speak giant? Anyone happen to speak giant?
Nope.
No.
Never mind. You guys have got no fucking clue what it says. Though you might recognize, Doc, I think you're proficient in religion, right? You might recognize the symbol of Ambyr, the god of the giants, upon him in several places. Yeah, he though a bit of a dumbass, he does seem like, if what this guy's saying is true and he did tattoo himself, he's pretty proficient at it. But yes, looking at this space that you're in, you've got things like hanging from the ceiling, and you can hear like the floor creaking underneath your sort of footsteps as you're going in, and it is a slightly more seedy place, definitely. Like there's no real light in here either, so you've just got a light from a small window out front lighting up this dark space. It's like shopping in a Hollister shop. So what do you say, Sonny? Dwarfy, man.
2,000 gold is quite steep, and I'd need to be tip-top shape tomorrow. Why don't I finish doing my... we're doing our shopping. We're having a bit of a look around for a few different things, and then I'll potentially get back to you on the morrow.
Yeah, all right. I don't think we've got any bookings for tomorrow, have we? No, we got nothing for tomorrow. Or the day after. Or the day after that. Or the day after... Yeah, they don't need to fucking know that, you big lummox. Come on. And you, good sir, the one with the silver hair and the fancy plate armor. What are you in the market for these days? Anything in particular?
Oh, just a shield that is possibly a bit more durable than mine, or maybe perhaps offers some properties that I wouldn't otherwise have.
Oh, then you've come to the right place, Sonny Jim. Come to the right place indeed. Come here, come this way, come this way. And he shows you around to a couple of shields, and some of the shields are some fairly basic things. There's a shield that can, again, sort of like create light from it, and there's a shield that can be used to sort of like a quickening shield, which allows you to sort of use your reaction to reduce the damage of people's attacks against people left to the left and right of you or near you by a little bit. But none that really sort of increase your AC. But he does move a couple of things out of the way. It's like, now this one is the one you want, and it is a shield that you can see looks as if it's a almost sort of like like one of them classic. Not really diamond-shaped ones, but the ones that sort of go down and round. And it's got a kite shield, and it looks like it has on the front of it lots and lots of scales. Scales that seem to be from a metallic dragon. This would be a dragon scale shield. So the color of this is, I believe it is silver. Yeah. So it is a silver dragon scale shield. Whilst wielding the shield and attuned to the shield, you have resistance to cold damage. Also, you can, as part of one of your attacks, you can release a breath of cold energy out in front of you.
Just one attack per like long or short rest, or
No, you can believe you can do this as much as your proficiency modifier.
Okay.
And it deals 3d8 cold damage on a successful save, half as much on 3d8 on a failed save, half as much on a successful one. It also gives you a +1 to your AC.
Instead of the +2 from a standard shield?
No, as well as the +1, as well as the +2 from a standard shield.
Oh, amazing. How much is this?
Well, this particular item, you must understand, has been with us for a little bit of time, and I hold some personal affection towards this shield. Cost you in the region of around 1,700 gold pieces.
Did we sell the wand?
We can say if you're all in agreement, you could have sold the wand. Yeah, sure.
Sell the wand?
Okay.
Sell the wand.
We have sold the wand. So that's 250 each.
Yeah.
250.
How much did he say? 1,700.
Yes.
Now, can I possibly talk you down from there?
First rule about talking someone down, you never tell them you're about trying to talk them down. But come on, wow me, dazzle me. I'd like to see what you've got. There's tear symbol on you, am I right? Well, show me what you got, law boy.
What do you want?
Well, you're really bad at this. Fucking talking down. No, 1,700, and that's the final price.
I think you mean 1,500. Shit.
I think I mean 1,800.
Oh, no, you don't.
Nah, I'm kidding you, I am. 1,700. I know you lot. I know the look of your jib, knack of your jack. Them guardian fellas, ain't you? I
Actually,
think some of you are.
I have some very good connections with some very prominent people who I think would love to have a little browse through your stock. So if you knock off maybe 150, I think we could definitely get some. We heard of Daviak? General Daviak loves the shield.
Well, I've heard
he uses a bow all the time.
I've heard of certainly some of the generals, but I don't want generals perusing around my stock. These are for the strong, hardy fighting men.
Clearly didn't take the threat there.
These
are not for higher up individuals. No,
okay, well, the lowest scum of the earth I know. I'd love to introduce you to a man called Oramus. I think he'd love it here. Also, a very famous shield fighter.
You might have seen his play. Maybe his statue.
I think I might have heard of one of them statues. Yeah, is that what's his face? Single hand or solo hand or something. Pirate fella hangs with this one. He points towards the dog. Yeah, I heard of you lot. I think I seen you last time you was in the capital. Interesting look, bunch of fellas you are. Anyway, 1,700. There's the cut.
You don't think 1,650 would suit everyone's needs?
I don't think that would quite work. What, are you desperate or something?
Well, okay, Doc, can I borrow 16 gold pieces, please?
16 gold pieces. Sure.
Thank you. Right, here's your 1,700, yeah. Man after my own heart. Fucking stubborn bastard.
Thank you very much. Now, and he picks up the shield and he sort of takes it around back. Now, if I just need to sort of sort this out. And as he sort of like takes this shield round back a second, just checking it off the stock. And he's sort of back there for a moment. And he comes back with your shield. There we are. You now have a shield of... What is it?
I feel like
dragon scale
you
shield.
just switched it out with something that's not got dragon scales, but like bits of cut tin pots or whatever. Can I investigate this shield that he's given me? I don't trust that it's the real deal.
Yeah, sure. Roll an investigation check. To your knowledge, it's the same shield. I mean, he only ever showed it to you. He didn't really like let you pick it up or take it or anything like that. And you can see it had like a big sort of tag on the front of the price. So maybe you just went back there and snatched it off. So
I do a quick Arcana check just to make sure it actually has, like, I can feel the magical properties from it.
That would be more of a detect magic than a basic Arcana check.
I'll use my axe to do detect magic on it then.
Okay. Yep, you cast detect magic. Yeah, he absolutely swapped this out. He was. This is a basic run of the mill like iron shield with some scales on it. Yeah, there ain't nothing. In fact, in this entire room, for all of the items these labeled as magic, none of them are magic.
None of them are magic.
Nothing in here is magic, but you get a very strong sense from the back.
Okay, so he does have magical items in the back.
He does have magical items. He just keeps them all in the back, and from what you've gathered, he sells people the fake stuff.
Okay. Is he at like his reception area, the till area?
Yeah. He's like brought it out of the reception area. Tat is still sort of like stood there, almost like staring at him, waiting for him to tell him to go back to work.
Yeah.
Don't forget, your god literally told you this morning it's okay to kill people.
Oh yeah. just you watch what's about to happen. So I'll look at the shield and I'll sort of turn to go and I go, oh, actually, hang on a second. I'll just pop it down by it's just sort of resting on the till, and I'll just slowly sit my immovable rod dagger out, and I'll just slam it down into his sleeve so that it tucks into the.
Okay.
Thing. I'll lean right in, and I'll just whisper. I'll just say, I don't think this is what I paid for.
What? Duke, want to help a friend out, mate?
Duke, you're not gonna fucking move, okay? I'm talking to you.
What do I do here, boss? He's told me not to move, and you've told me to move. I'm a bit confused here. It points towards you, Balzanor. I was like, "You're big. What do I do?"
I'm just going to cast. I'm going to cast light in my hand, but act as if it's like I'm about to throw something made of fire.
Nice.
Yeah, you begin to like cast light, and go, "Ah!" And it's just like for this big, huge guy, he goes, "Ah!" falls back, and there's just this clattering of maces and shit that just falls on his head. He's like, "Oh, for fuck! I didn't sell you nothing bad. Are you saying things in my store are bad? That is an insult, sir. An insult to my You know, my father run this store, and he was a good, hard-working soldier. He was worked all of his bloody
right
life.
hands on the dagger. I'm just going to bring the left hand up and just wrap it around his throat. I'm a little sick of the shit I'm hearing.
You know, that may have been a tiny bit of confusion. I can see why one might get mixed up. You know, it's a big room back there, lots of things.
Of course, yeah. But I think normally what happens with a mistake is a little like rectification charge. I think. Let's say
I think we should at least get another item free, another magical item free.
Yeah. Good customer service and all.
Yeah. I'll take 200 gold off.
We can roll with that.
1,500. Go. Yeah. But you know, don't tell anyone. No telling.
Doc, you can have your 16 gold back. Have the actual thing, please, and I'll be able to tell if it's bullshit.
Yeah. Tat, do you want to go get the? Oh, yeah, sure. Tat walks out, comes back, and hands you the actual shield, which is like miles lighter than the previous one. You can now feel the magical sort of like lightness to it. After not picking it up earlier when he handed you the iron one, it was pretty hefty, sort of scale iron shield. But now this is magical silver dragon scales upon the front, and over time you can become attuned to this new shield. The guys are right now. Think it'd be better for everyone if you all just leave. Think that would probably be good. Yeah.
On my way out, I'm just going to knock something over just for the hell of it.
Man. And Tat's just stood there like, "I'll still do your tattoo, Mr. Dwarf. He's a bit of a prick, but I'm not so bad. I like to consider myself maybe more of a shithead than a prick."
I'll argue with that.
Logic.
But I'm okay to do that for you. Might give you a bit of a lesser price for the kind of thing he pulled. It's not on that. Always said that.
Thank you. Well, I shall consider that, and I might see you in the morning.
Okay. Don't tell your god. Bye. He walks back into the back room. And and as you guys leave, you just hear the main sort of storekeeper just start shouting at Tat, like, "You are fucking useless. What are these muscles for anyway?" Sort of going on at him.
Nice.
But yeah, you now have a +1 magical shield, which I'm going to regret giving you later, but there we go. And Doc, you have a tattoo potentially booked if you would like it, to give yourself a little bit better armor. Is there anything else anyone would like to do potentially? This would have taken. It's probably around. I'd probably say 6-7 o'clock in the evening. Things will be open still for another hour or two, maybe. So you still have some time to maybe procure items that you'd like, or just mill around and finish off the day. Or if there's anything else you wanted to do,
I might go
it's
back
up
and
to
get that original shield that we were looking at, but
Stormcaller shield.
I didn't realize you hadn't bought it.
Well, I hadn't physically said I would, but I tried to have it because it was
probably going to go and do some training with Damien.
Yeah, before we
sounds good.
Get to the long rest, I guess. I've got 3 vampire hearts in my bag.
Yes.
That's, I'm a bit hungry.
Wouldn't advise that. Not sure what will happen. Think it'll probably be bad. If you're hungry, I'll buy you jerky. It'll probably taste better as well.
No way, it doesn't have to be cooked. I can do that myself.
Fair enough. And Balzanor a cow.
As soon as you mention about the 3 vampire hearts, you just hear Cathaniel Piper like, bury them somewhere, throw them into the sea, do fucking something. God, it's creeping me out, just having 3 vampire hearts right next to me.
They're in a
Can I have
bag.
it on a necklace and just hang it by my chest, please?
Absolutely not. Okay.
And that would be very on brand, but sure.
Okay. The sea. Is there like what is the amber equivalent of concrete? Is there anything like that we can do, or do we just need to like sandwich them between 2 big blocks of stone and like wrap it all up with chain and stuff to hold it all together?
Yeah, it'd probably be more of that sort of thing, really. I mean, there are spells, for example, there are druidic spells that can allow you to, you might have seen Nevado, especially Balzanor, you might have seen Nevado mold stone in the past, and you've definitely seen him sort of change stone and move through stone every now and again. That is a potential possibility.
Nevado is also somewhere around the capital.
Nevado is currently in the Feywild.
Nevado is currently in the Feywild.
Okay.
Dictating diplomacy, and we can get to that at some point in the future before the siege to see how well that went.
Okay. Do we want to handle this ourselves, or?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this sounds like an
It's a post-conflict thing.
yeah, like a when we've got some slightly more time, charter a ship and just sail out to a random point and drop.
I think it
them off
needs to be us, otherwise I feel like. I mean, people are so easily bribed, aren't we?
Okay.
Whereas we are also pure of heart.
Okay, so
People often get what they don't understand. If anyone thinks there's any magical nature to these fucking hearts, they might, I don't know, try and use them, take the stake out. And then we've just got the same problem we started with.
Okay, so
I agree.
will
I think
hold on
it
to
should
them
be us.
for the time being until we have enough time to maybe. What's happening after this ball? We have nothing planned, do we?
Not
Siege.
especially.
Okay.
There is a siege. There is a siege coming up.
Okay, well, after the ball, we might have the time to charter a ship and sail out and dump them in the ocean.
Indeed.
Okay. Well, that's that decided.
Cool. What else might there be?
Happy to go jump for the long rest, I think.
Yeah. Yep, that's everything. We can jump to the long rest. You guys spend the next little while just sort of getting drinks. The priests of Pelor are a little bit busy this evening. The night before the masquerade and things, they're trying to sort of get everything sort of ready and prepared. And as sort of things are preparing for the ball, so they don't really have like the time to make food for you guys. So they give you effectively just like say, you're better off just at the pub down the street for food, and then you can obviously your apartment, your beds will be waiting here for you to sleep here, no problem. Head down the street, grab some grub, and after that, go to bed. But as you're sort of in this bar, grabbing some food, maybe just a simple, quick meal. Don't know, however your characters would go about this, you may. But this bar that's just down the road from this area, you can tell it's one of them places that is trying very, very hard to look like it's very fancy, and yet obviously it isn't. There's like a mirror behind the bar, and there's fancy sort of velvet cushions on the seats and things like that. But the service is still somewhat abysmal, and the food is still average, and the drink is very average. But all the drinks are served in slightly fancier flagons and things like that. And Balzanor, you're sort of at the bar, maybe grabbing another drink, whatever you feel might be, and you're just sort of waiting for the barkeep to serve you. Currently, they're serving just a group of lads who look a little bit sort of underage. so the barkeeper's just trying to get a read on them. And you find yourself stood there, sort of looking at the bar. And then you sort of glance at the mirror behind you. And as you do, you see something you really don't expect to see. Obviously, it's a mirror. You expect to see yourself. And you do see almost an echo of yourself, something of yourself, but it's not you. In this reflection, you're about 2 to 3 feet taller, standing around 10 feet tall. Instead of fur over your body, there are scales, like dragon scales. And you have this long, spiny tail that whips and cracks behind you. There is a burning hot energy, like you're about to breathe the draconic flame in your chest. And this also comes from your eyes and your horns. Your eyes are burning bright and literally on fire, and your horns look so hot they could cut through any metal or any material anyone would throw at them. And upon your back are huge wings, large enough to carry such a great figure as yourself in this reflection. As you look at yourself with this reflection, you sort of take a moment to take in all these features and almost have to shake yourself back. And as you blink, you find yourself just back as you were. The bartender finally finished with the 2 individuals. He's deemed that they're fine, that they are of age, and has poured them a drink. And he's been asking you for a couple of times, really, what you would like to drink. And you hadn't even realized. But you're back. You order your drinks. You can all have a pleasant evening. A fairly nice evening as well, considering that the past couple of evenings have been filled with dread and, some slightly serious business. You can all have a long rest. You wake up again the next morning, perfectly fine. You can restore spells, hit points, all that sort of stuff. As you come in, a little bit later, a couple of people do say that they can have your armor slightly cleaned for you a little bit for the morning, so that at the very least you won't be soldiers walking around looking like you're covered in blood and things like that. By the time you wake, you do find much of your armor somewhat clean. Is there anything else anyone would like to do this morning? You have most of a day. You figure you'll probably have to start getting ready for this ball around sort of 4 to 5-ish, but it's now like 8 o'clock in the morning, so you have plenty of time. Yes, Matt, you were going to say.
Quite simply, I did just realise I have absolutely no healing potions left, and because I don't have any way to heal, I know we have Doc, but I might just go out and get a few healing potions. Healing potion, a minor one, costs you 25 gold pieces. Alfwin had 2 of those, and a major one, a large healing potion costs 50 gold pieces. Okay,
and he had 1 of those.
So 2 small and 1 large.
Yeah. So if you were to buy the lot, it'd be 75 gold pieces.
Yeah, I'll go for the lot then.
Cool. All right. He's happy to see. Yeah, you can take his potions, and yeah, that's all good. Doc, you said you were.
Yeah, I'd like to get up early and go to the ruined temple of Apollo.
Yeah, of course.
And sit down on the edge of the pool that was there, and just find a bit of space. I want to pull out the Great Talon spear, just lay it on the ground in front of me, and I want to cast Commune.
Yeah, of course. You begin the incantations for Commune. You find yourself in this, quiet, sort of safe space. Before many of the workers that sort of come in and deal with this stuff as well. So it is, basically dead in here at the moment. And you cast Commune. What would you like to ask of Apollo?
Okay. Well, first question I'll say, is this weapon safe to use?
You sort of beseech Apollo for this, and you hear back, just in the sort of back of your mind in prayer, this weapon is safe to use, though not for long. It seems that without care, it could
cloud your mind, your judgment. The Black Talons are built on faith and belief that what they were doing was changing the world. This came from a being that spoke through this blade.
So, basically, potentially.
Yes, but... Okay. This being... If Yara is destroyed in the coming conflict, will that make this any safer?
No. The Black Talons dislocated from Yara long ago. They found a new patron. A patron that dwells within a place that no god or man has ever come back from. Pandemonium.
Is it possible to separate this weapon and make it safe whilst still keeping its power?
The power is given like my power is given to you. The power within the blade and the being are one. Sadly, this may not work. I am sorry.
Okay.
So basically, you can attune to it. But there might be some other stuff that comes after that you might need to work on or get through beforehand.
It'll cost you your soul.
Apollo, protect me. The city is in danger, and we need all the power we can get. And I'm going to take the tip of my finger and touch it to the end of the spear.
Okie dokie. Can you make me a charisma saving throw?
A charisma save? No! Oh, no. I should have prepared better for this. Oh, that's really good, actually. That's really good.
That's pretty good. Doc, you're sat here with no one really knowing that you came here and no one around you to see what's happened. You prick your finger to the end of the spear and begin its attunement, and you disappear.
Wow.
Shit.
Doc, you appear in a very large cavern, a huge, expansive place where sand, a grey sand, covers the ground, and a wind howls through this place. Not so bad in here, but you can definitely tell in the caverns and rooms and places beyond it could be maddening. Around you are several ways to go, and the cavern seems to stretch up very naturally, up and around. And you get the sense that gravity works a little bit differently here. You feel like you can walk literally up the walls of the cavern, because in this place, the gravity is relative to the person. So you could essentially walk up and around and be on the ceiling, and yet if you dropped a ball, it would still go down to your feet.
Oh, that's trippy.
It is confusing as hell. At the end of this cavern, so there are many sort of like holes and cavernous spaces between this place. In this very, very dark space, you have dark vision, thankfully, but even still, this sort of sand whipping round is obscuring your vision somewhat. The very end of this space is an almost like sand waterfall, pouring from the mouth of a great obsidian statue of a falcon. This falcon it has the wingspan of maybe hundreds of feet and the body to match. And it stares down sort of just ahead of you with a small sort of pool at its center. What would you like to do?
I assume I've got the spear.
I'm also really sorry the DC was 20 on that. That's fucking duh.
No, I failed.
Yeah, you failed.
Oh, shit.
Otherworldly beings are difficult. So, you're in a massive cavern, massive black statue in front of you, black obsidian statue in front of you, many caverns behind you with howling winds. And yeah, what would you like to do?
Did you say it was like a large falcon with like sand water falling out of its mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. The sands of time.
And there's a pool in...
And there is like it's less of a pool and sort of where you can imagine if it hadn't have dried out, a pool would sit.
Okay.
So it's like a large sort of 10-foot radius, 10-foot radius sort of circle of stone that ranges maybe only like 2 feet off the ground. And you can imagine this is maybe where water would have sat if it wasn't windy as fuck and everything was going on and there was sand everywhere in here. And yet, even with sand, it is weirdly cold in here. I was hoping someone would attune to this.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to do something I should have maybe done before. I'm going to cast Blast on myself.
Yep.
And I will address the statue, I guess. You say, is this the Falcon Den? Or is this the Black Falcon Den?
This is the Black Falcon Den. Who am I speaking to currently?
And this voice just booms out of the middle of the space of the falcon, basically ahead of you.
My name is Dokrumir.
Ah.
This spear from its last champion.
I know the name Dokrumir. You are one who should have died, and yet here you stand. That is fascinating. You killed my last champion. Why?
Self-preservation. They were a threat to the city that I'm trying to protect.
Ah, so not self-preservation, but preservation of a community.
Both. They were the head of an order of assassins sent to kill me and my friends and their families. And we decided to proactively remove the head of this snake. To remove
Are you calling me a snake, young Dokrumir?
Not you. Your previous champion. The one who threatened us. To protect ourselves and our families. And the city from an internal threat while it faces an external enemy.
I am well aware of your external enemy. This enemy is one whom my previous champion clawed the Black Talons from. Before him, the Talons were merely a group dedicated to the resurrection of this Queen Yara. I gave them purpose. Tell me, Dokrumir of Apollo, do you have purpose?
I try to.
Such little creatures. Your purpose intrigues me. What is it?
I try to look out for others. The losses in my past, I do not want more loss in the future. I know what it's like to lose everything. I try to
You
protect
know
people
what
from
is
that.
funny, Dokrumir of Apollo? That is the same thing my previous champion said. He wanted to protect others. He had faced much loss in his life and did not want any more of it. How interesting, you would kill him, and yet your purposes align. What think you of this, Dokrumir of Apollo?
It is unfortunate to come to know this of them. They were not given much of a choice. And we chose a violent path.
You did. Do you know why his men chose the violent path against you and your friends?
For the same reason we did, probably. He frightened us.
No. It is said amongst you and your friends that one vampire asked for you to be killed. This is true, but this merely aligned with my vision. I wanted you and your friends killed. This was my doing. You, Griffin Asahi, Galahad Astrador, Balzanor Blaze, Glindan Arthur, Oramis Lone Hill, and I've forgotten his name. Mazarios Kalhalan. Do you know why I wanted you dead? Because you invoke chaos. You are chaotic by nature. All of you. You invoke too much of it. Too chaotic is your world already. It needs order to have peace. That is all I want. Peace for a world that will not have me. Is that not ridiculous, Dokrumir of Apollo?
I do not know you. I do not know your story. What is your name?
My name was lost to the gods eons ago. I am now only the Black Falcon. And I think we can do great things together, Dokrumir of Apollo. My only issue is with the situation we find ourselves in. You and your friends, and the order to kill them. What to do about this? What would you have me do, Dokrumir of Apollo? Would you have me kill you and your friends Or at least try. Or in fact, I cannot kill you anymore. My champion is gone. My communication with your world detached. Would you kill your friends?
I would not kill my friends.
This saddens me. Would you change them? Make them less chaotic in nature?
I believe I've been trying to change them. I do not consider myself overly chaotic. I like to think I have order and rules that I live by.
This is
I
true.
will admit, I do not always stick to.
And that there, Dokrumir, is the problem. We do not stick to them. And I think it has something to do with that thing you wear on your neck that is emblazoned on your hammer. Your god, Dokrumir of Apollo. I do not like him. I do not like them. Tell me, for my help, would you renounce your god, Dokrumir of Apollo?
My faith has been tested in the past. I will remain strong.
This saddens me, Dokrumir of Apollo. Good luck finding your way out, Dokrumir of Apollo. I have heard this place is quite daunting. Goodbye. And the voice disappears.
It'd be great that you told everyone that you went here, so we'll know where you've gone missing.
Yeah, it's great. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the spear behind, and I'm just going to stand up and say, Apollo, safe. And I'm going to try divine intervention.
Nah, bro.
Okey-dokey.
Nah, bro. I don't do that shit no more.
I
Give
need
it a go.
13 or lower. Fuck.
Ah. Cathaniel, who is sat with you at this who's with you at this very moment,
Hi,
and boom
Cathaniel.
on your back.
How you doing?
Would have been nice to talk with the team, Doc, about this whole thing.
I didn't think this through.
Maybe maybe not. Do you think we could ask nicely to get back?
I don't know what it'll cost to get back.
Well, are you prepared to sit here for... This is pandemonium, man. People go mad here.
Oh, that's like
I don't really know anything about pandemonium. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do know something about pandemonium. I know a way out of pandemonium, but I also don't know my way from here to that way out of pandemonium.
I see.
Yeah.
What do you know about pandemonium? Is it another plane?
It's sort of. It's sort of like the gods' first attempt at making a plane. It went super badly. Magic is really fucked up here, and people go mad when they come here. Things the gods exile often end up here. Like this this beautiful black falcon bird person.
Okay. How long does it take for someone to go mad here?
Well, you haven't stepped out into the winds yet, so I'm not quite sure.
Okay,
You're pretty wise, so maybe a while, but I don't know. This is definitely interesting. Mr. Falcon, Mr. Falcon Man. Hello.
Hello, little skull. I have heard your name before, Kithania. Yeah. How do we leave here? Well, you do not leave. This is Pandemonium. There is no escape.
Oh, good.
Well, that's that's a lie, because I know there's a way out of it.
Well, there is escape, but not for you, or Dokrumir of Apollo. Unless... Oh.
Sorry, no, go on.
He said unless.
I know.
You would do something for me, Kithania.
Me? You want the headless, you want the bodiless guy to do something?
Yes. I would like you to do something for me. Or rather, I would like Dokrumir to do something for me. With your help. Dokrumir.
What is your price?
I would like you to do 2 things for me, Dokrumir.
Yeah.
As you have taken my champion, but refuse to get rid of your god, I must drive you mad. But then I must ask of you to find me then a new champion. That would be interesting. A god's perspective. A holy man's perspective on the champion of a people he disagrees with. This could be interesting. What would you give, Dokrumir, to get back to your friends? And for this opportunity?
It sounds like my friends are safer if I stay. If I am your
I doubt
champion
that
and
very much.
trapped here mad. It means so are you.
You speak to me as if I am evil. What makes you think I am evil, Dokrumir of Apollo?
A threat against my sanity. The desire to have me and my friends killed.
Does this make me evil?
From my point of
You
view,
and your
yes.
friends have been violent. I instructed my champion to give you a way out. You would not have to do anything violent, and yet you chose the violence.
Your champion told us we would have to kill.
My champion said nothing of the sort.
He said we would not have to kill people we knew, but he implied we would have to kill. So if killing was on the table, we chose him.
Then my champion made a mistake. This interests me. Even primordial beings can make mistakes sometimes. Can still find interesting things in life. In your petty little lives. Well, Dokrumir, you have a choice to make. Leave and retrieve my...
I'll be your fucking champion, you dick! What? Gets you back. And let's face it, without those guys, what the hell are they gonna do? What the hell is everyone gonna do? There's a fucking undead army, you asshole. A cleric of Apollo is fucking needed. And besides, I'm just a fucking head. The hell can I do? I can't even do anything without a body. Maybe he'll give me a body back.
Wait. Let's just take some time, and we will consider things.
All right. Okay. What are we considering here?
I want to know more about what you'd have either of us do as your champion.
In order for the world to work in the order that me and others see fit, some people need to be... Their paths need to change. Some must only make slight turns, alterations. Others must end abruptly, fatefully. Others must simply go on as they are. That is what I would ask of you.
You would have me change people.
I would have you change the direction of their path.
To what ends?
Make them not go somewhere they were going to go. Make them go somewhere they were not.
Yes, but why?
Make them say something, do something.
What is it working towards?
A future we have foreseen. That is all you need know. But in this future, Dokrumir, the world works in an orderly and peaceful fashion. No more death or war. No need for armies or soldiers. There is only peace and prosperity.
No death, no war. Order instead of chaos.
Indeed.
What kind of order? The order brought about by control? Or by free will?
Sometimes we believe it will have to be a balance. The order will need to allow for freedom, but the freedom will need to allow for order. One cannot come without the other. Otherwise, you become too chaotic, too lawful. It must be just right.
Who are these others?
That is a good question. Pardon?
Do they have names?
Not names you need concern yourself with. You would work for me. Be my champion. Maybe. I would have to see what you could do. Of course, I did want to kill you, so there would be... What would you people call it? A trial period.
Cathaniel at this point sort of whispers up to you.
Doc. No. I've seen you come too far with that god of yours to just give it all up. Heard you whispering and praying and what you've done for that temple and everything. Are you sure you'll just give it all up? I'm nothing.
I can serve Apollo. Bring peace, healing, and help people. And temporarily serve the Black Falcon as well. If I have to.
This seems like an interesting proposition. this proposition. It causes chaos but ends in more order than would have originally been.
Give me one moment. I just need to think about something.
You may have your moment.
And I want to step away. And I'm going to attempt to cast Sending. Which...
Okie dokie. Does it work over planes?
It has a 5% chance of failing if I'm on a different plane.
Okie dokie. Roll a d100, 0 to 5. At which point, really quickly before we finish, everyone else wakes up and has been awake for about sort of 10-15 minutes, getting armor on, things like that. And Dokrumir is nowhere to be seen. People said he might be back. He was... I mean, would you have told people where you were going, Doc? Or, like, there's people up in the temple right there.
Like, if like, people were around... So if someone asked, but I think I probably would have just headed to the Temple of Apollo, thinking...
Okay.
That's the best place to do this.
People said he left, like, maybe an hour ago. Something like that. A couple of hours ago, maybe. Yeah, so roll a D100, Doc, and then think about what you would like to send.
Oh, I'm so glad
you
said
you're fine.
1 to 5 was a fail. Okay.
What would you like to send?
I'm trapped in pandemonium. This is going to be to Griffin, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trapped in pandemonium. I need to make a deal to get out. To serve... I'm trapped in pandemonium. I need to make a deal to get out. Oh shit, that's already like 12 letters.
Mm-hmm.
If I return, watch me. It may not be the same. Might lose control, which I think is 25.
Okay. You cast the spell on Griffin. You, after sort of spending a little while thinking, it's probably just Doc out getting that tattoo or something like that, you hear that. You can reply with 25 words or less.
Yeah. That shit. I will keep an eye on you. Good luck getting out, you wee scampy fellow.
Yeah, and you receive the message back.
Okay.
Which point you all sort of well, Doc, you're sort of stood there. What would you do now? Would
Okay.
you
I will turn to Kanye and say, you've gotten to know me pretty well over the last few weeks. I might need you to be my moral compass for a while.
Doc,
Don't let me forget who I am.
are you sure about this? I will do this in a heartbeat. Not that I have a heart, that's not... I will do this for you if you want me to.
I have... You know more about this place. What do you think our chances are of making this out without a deal? Do you think... How long do you... If we make it a day...
a day?
We can make it a day.
Probably a day. Yeah. But then we don't know when she's gonna come. We don't know what's gonna happen.
I know.
probably make it a day, but to get to where I think we can make it out, we'd have to push it, but we might be able to get there in a day, depending on where we are. If we're in limbo, then no, we're fucked, but I don't know.
No, but a day. I can try Apollo again. I can try and change. I can change what I know for today. I can prepare something that might be able to get us out of here.
Okay.
If we live a day.
What can you prepare?
I can prepare plane shift.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's actually a good one. Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, that would work.
I mean, the only
Probably.
slight issue I have is I don't have a forked metal rod worth 250 GP attuned to a particular plane of existence.
Well, I did this for Nevada when you guys went to the Shadowfell, and I said that you could use anything that you have that's worth 250 GP that is attuned to that plane of existence.
Okay.
And I would have to say it would have to be an item of significance that is attuned to that particular place.
Okay.
Because I did it for Nevada, I'll allow it for this, though for the future I might be inclined to.
Me, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that was it. Yeah, I think I did it for Balzanor, not Nevada. Both of you, I think. But I think, yeah, probably for the future I'll gate by a tuning fork. But I'll allow it in this instance because I allowed it then.
Okay. One day. We try one day.
Okay. So we're not taking his deal then, right?
Not yet.
Very well. Here is some incentive.
And all of a sudden, all the caverns that are around you, the wind just blasts your ears. It is deafening. You can't even hear your own voice when you scream. There are sounds in the wind, and you swear you can see people all around you. Sounds shouting, "Please help me. Get me out of here. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. You're with us. You're stuck with us. We might as well work together. Come on, please. We're stuck." But you can't see anyone. You're so thin. You can't even. If you were to stand in the middle of that 10-foot sort of pool, you wouldn't even be able to see around that. You can barely see your hands. The dust is battering you and whacking you. Can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please? And a constitution saving throw.
Oh, this is amazing.
That was a wisdom save.
You do not go mad.
There's the con save.
And you do not go deaf. So, Doc's trapped in pandemonium for a day, which I'm going to be honest is not how I saw this episode going down. But
hindsight, if I'd just cast Bless beforehand, I could have saved that.
You funny. Jesus Christ. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the shopping episode.
I have regrets.
Yep. JJ, we will talk this week about how we're going to do the ball next week without Doc. Because you're trapped in pandemonium for a day. You will make another save against deafness or going mad. And we'll see how that shit goes.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be a continual sort of process.
I've just opened an article
Maybe.
about what is pandemonium. I just said pandemonium is a plane of chaos with just a tinge of evil.
Yep. It is fucking crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Especially the way I've sort of slightly spun it, although I've kept mainly to the D&D lore. I've taken a couple of spins on things.
I have so many notes to go back and listen to.
I apologise for that end bit there that I got so focused on Doc.
Yeah,
Thanks
sorry
all for bearing with. But it was like the start of a long
in
rest
an
and
entirely
stuff.
different plane of existence. I thought I might just go a bit stabby.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun.
So we will pick that back up next week.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Thank you all for coming. Yeah, enjoy your new magic items, the few of you that do have some new fancy magic items.
That's just salt in the wound, Ben.
And yeah, I guess unless there was anything else anyone wanted to do in the day of this place,
Well, I had
we'll
some
pick
things.
up.
So,
You did.
well,
Ow. Yeah. Cool. See you guys in the week. Hope you enjoyed the session. Any notes or critiques or anything, let me know. I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Have a good one. Bye.